And play is anything, it's basically flow. It's anything where time ceases to exist and your whole like brain and body is just fully immersed in it. That's how Stuart Brown, I love, he does like all this research on the importance of play and the
Mm.
psychology of how it's so important. And it's just like, whoa, I love all that. Just to nerd out on it for a sec.
We'll talk about this and much more today. Welcome to a Writer's Day podcast. Hey everyone, welcome back to Writer's Day podcast. My name is Ruth Douthit, and I'm so glad you're here. I started this podcast for you, folks who want to learn more about writing and the writing process, and to listen to amazing authors and podcasters talk about their life stories. And today, you're in for a treat. But first, if you like this episode, please consider subscribing over at YouTube, leave me a review, follow me on Spotify, and all that stuff. I'd love to know what you think of today's episode. And head over to my website to sign up for my newsletter, where you can get a free downloadable copy of A Christmas Scene, a Christmas short story I wrote a while ago, and I hope that you enjoy it. Okay, let's get started. She is an author and a podcaster who loves to remind us that joy isn't just for kids. It's fuel for our souls, and I love that. And I found Amy Dickens on Podmatch and decided to reach out to her, and I'm so glad that she accepted my invitation to be on my podcast today to talk about her new book, 101 Ways to Spread Joy. So you know the drill. Grab your favorite beverage, a comfortable chair, kick back and relax as we listen to Amy Dickens talk about her new book. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm super excited to have Amy Dickens with me here today. She is an author and a podcaster. Welcome, Amy.
Thanks for having me here. So excited to be here today.
Of course, yeah. Why don't you tell my listeners about yourself? I'm sure you can do a much better introduction than I just did. Tell us about yourself.
You're doing great. I am here on a mission to help reconnect adults with their joy in their play and to remind them that it's not just something that's just for fun, that actually our joy in our play can be tools to transform ourselves, to regulate our nervous systems, and to create a better world, to spread it around, creating ripple effects that just help make the world the place that we wish to live in, kind of walk in the talk that we can all kind of find ourselves in sometimes in a fun way.
Yes, I completely agree. And that's what drew me to you when I saw you on Podmatch. I thought, oh, I got to chat with her because I'm big into that as well. So what made you want to go in this direction? Was it something you studied or?
It was something I think that found me. For a long time, from, I don't know, probably the time from like 17 to, I want to say 27, 28, I was really struggling. Like, really on that, like, pain was the thing that was motivating me. I really struggled with mental health, anxiety, depression, like, really intense social anxiety where I could not really at all talk to people that I didn't know. Like, there'd be like four people in the world that I was like, I feel comfortable talking to. Everyone else, off the menu of talking to people kind of options.
Mm.
And there was this little spark of hope within me during that of, okay, I feel miserable. It's like hard to get out of bed every day. I'll get home from work every day and just kind of fall on the couch and cry and be like, there has to be a better way. There was that small, still voice inside of me that always said, it gets better. So I just kind of became obsessed for those 10 years of learning, meditation and yoga and psychology and like any and all different kinds of tools and really leaning into that to find a million and one different things that really led to me becoming a new version of myself, to becoming the real authentic version where the love and the joy was in the front seat rather than my fear. And I was just becoming a new version. I felt like every, like 60 days, I was like, whoa, this is transforming who I am. And people kept reflecting back to me, oh my gosh, you're so joyful. Oh wow, like your energy is very joyful. So it was almost like the reflection of other people to me was the thing that kind of sparked it. And in that, I had broken up with my ex-partner we were like had such a beautiful relationship, but it was just kind of like time to part ways kind of thing. And I said, okay, like I'm single for the first time in 11 years. What am I gonna do? Like it's just me. It's like total different thing I'm doing here. Let's just follow my joy. Like, who am I without this other person? Like, who am I? I don't know. Like on this soul searching kind of path. So I just let myself follow my joy. Whatever was like the most exciting, but also like kind of terrifying to the scared parts of me. And it was an exhilarating thing and has over time evolved into realizing, yes, following our joy helps us feel more alive. It awakens that spark within us, which I feel is almost our own like responsibility as humans on this planet to keep that spark within us alive because I think we all have a mission and a purpose here to serve and no one else can serve it in our way because we each hold that puzzle piece that we all get to like collectively put our puzzle pieces together to kind of co-create what this world is and through that sorry I got like off on a little track there through that, I was really just inspired to help reconnect people to spread their joy as well and to remind them that that brings them back to their joy.
Wow, that's amazing. How old are you?
I'm 32.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I just find that there seems to be like this pressure on 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds that you have to make it. If you haven't made it by then your life's
Right.
over. And for
Oh, yeah.
me, I didn't find myself till I was in my 40s. So that's why I'm so impressed that you've already found yourself and you're not even 40 yet. That's amazing. Good for you.
Thanks. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I spent like my whole 20s being like, "Oh my God, I'm the only person on this planet I think born without a purpose and a gift." And it was just like, I don't know, so woe is me about it, but I was like, obsessive about it. I was like, I will find this. I don't know where it is, but it always felt like there was something that was the most important thing in the world, but I couldn't remember what it was. Like it was like on the tip of my tongue and I was like, "What is it? What did I write like on that post-it note that I left at home kind of feeling?" And I was like, I will stop at nothing until I figure out. And I'm like, wow, it's so funny that I took all that so seriously. And I'm like, oh, it's to reconnect people to their joy. Who knew it could be so fun when I was taking it so freaking seriously?
Yeah, right. Well, let's talk about your book, 100 Ways to Spread Joy, because now I'm intrigued. I really want to know what are these ways to spread joy? Tell us about it.
Yeah, absolutely. The book itself had a small part of it is 101 different ideas of ways you can spread joy. And they're there as things that you can follow. They're there as things that can spark your own inspiration. And the idea for this book came when about 2 years ago, I was just kind of in one of those rough patches, like out of a different breakup, like really heartbroken, had lost a bunch of friends, felt like my work was like falling apart. And I was like trying to like do brave new things, like speaking on stages, and it just was scaring me. And it just felt like everything was like, and I just kind of fell into a huge funk, quite frankly. And I remember looking in the mirror one day and saying, okay, something's got to change. So I gave myself a 30-day challenge to wake up every day and do something that would spark my joy again. Because I was like, okay, this is like my medicine, like it's joy. Like this is what my thing is, practice what you preach. And within that, I at one day wrote all on all these little cards, like the things that I needed to hear, like those little messages that was like, oh, this is what
Mm.
I need to hear right now, and drew cute little, like flowers or hearts or I don't know, just little fun things on them. And I put them in people's windshield wipers. I put them in the grocery store, in the library. And I remember having this moment where I was sitting in my car, just kind of waiting there, watching one of the cars that I had put one of the things in. And this old lady walked up and she pulled the little card out of her windshield wiper where I tucked it in. And I just watched her read it and just light up. Like I just saw her like posture and like her smile just completely change in a moment. And it kind of lit something up inside of me because I'd been spent like a week before just doing silly things in the morning, which are also great. I'm all about that too, of, doing the things that really bring joy to us, but recognizing, wow, taking like, those little moments to just spread joy to somebody else and this ripple effect that we each can create. We're all creating a ripple every single day, whether we're aware of it or not. Yesterday somebody screamed at me in their car. Like they just had like crazy road rage. And I just like kind of, did one of those little like, oh, I kind of like didn't understand the road and did a little bit of a wrong thing in the lane. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. But I was like, wow, I could get really angry and I could easily continue this ripple of anger that he just like raged at me. Or I could say, okay, this stops with me. I'm going to take a couple deep breaths and this stops. But most of us don't often do that. And we can also consciously say, okay, I'm going to create a ripple of joy. I'm going to spread some positivity. I'm going to, in this world where like so many crazy things are happening and we all have like busy lives or there's a loneliness epidemic and all these things, how can we uplift someone? How can we each be in our space to serve from our truth? So, everything in here is obviously just a suggestion, just a space of inspiration to help people find that joy back within themselves. So it can be things like, leaving the cards around or um like post-its is a really easy one. Just like drawing and like writing nice little things, leaving them on, people's carts and stuff at the grocery store. I love just like dancing in public is one that I found is like really it's just it uplifts me the most, and I find that other people, it's like scary at first when you first start doing it, and people are just like, yeah, all about it. Like our lives become so mundane sometimes that just that little like moment of like, oh, someone's dancing in the grocery store can be like the thing
So
that just
cute.
can like lift people up. And yeah, it's got like stories of, other stories of me within it that it just kind of like I think help humanize it and kind of like the science behind what is actually going on between your brain and your body when you're being joyful, and kind of because that helps me motivate people. I find sometimes it's like, oh, whoa, this is more than just for fun. This
Yeah,
is
it's not just feeling
changing
based, right? Yeah, it's backed up. And I'm a big proponent
your
of that. I went back.
biochemistry in your brain.
Yeah, I went back to school to learn more about mental health and wellness. And when I found that there's like this connection between your gut and your brain, what
Yeah.
you're eating affects your mental health,
Uh-huh.
and then vice versa. And once you get
All of
that
that.
under control, and then, like going out for a walk in the sunshine can just boost your spirit, so much. And you're right. I mean, I remember when I first got married, my husband and I have been married for like 37 years. And when we first got married, my older brother told me something. He said, in your marriage, don't ever forget being that little girl. Don't forget to tap into that little girl. And I never forgot that. That was like 40, almost 40 years ago. And I
Yeah.
try and do that. I try and still do that. I'll draw dragons because I love dragons, or I'll watch my favorite movie, Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, even though I've seen it a gazillion times. I don't care. It
Yeah.
makes me feel happy and joyful. Do you find little things like that that still take you back to when you were a kid and you try and tap into that feeling?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like the number one thing that I love when people are like, I don't even remember anymore, like what brings me joy or like how to
Mhm.
connect to it. I'm like, maybe tap into what did you love as a kid? Like, and it doesn't have to be, like exactly the thing that you did as a kid, but using that as like little clues is so, so great. So I love that you feel so connected to that. Yeah, I definitely like animals was a huge source of joy for me as a child. And I just like went on a walk today and there was this, the people had there were indoor cats and I was like, "Ah," like I noticed that I just light up so much every time. It's like as if I've never seen a cat before. Like these people must be like, wow, this lady really likes cats. I'm like, I do, I miss having one. And and just also noticing certain things where I used to make ridiculous videos, on the like big home camera when I was a kid, and just with our friends and just doing silly things and noticing that that's still something that to this day I do all the time. Like it's just getting my friends to do silly things and
Oh my
just film
gosh, that's awesome though. That's
it.
great. And
Yeah,
it's a
I
lot
love
easier to do it
it.
now too, huh?
Yeah, right. Exactly. A lot easier to do, a lot easier to like edit it. And I'm like, I lost all of those things because they're all just on friends, cameras who are probably in basements or got rid of or whatever it might be. Whatever happened to all the old home videos, somewhere in like no man's land.
Yeah. No, you were talking about something about play. And when we
Yeah,
were kids, we knew what play was. But as you get older and you become an adult, and like you said, you talked about all the real world things that happen, breakups, job woes, traffic,
right.
bills that you have to pay, all that can start to zap our not only joy, but our idea of what playing is. And I mean, when we got married, we had no money. So we had to really become very creative on our dates, walk in the
Right.
park, just a walk on the beach, something that costs absolutely no money, but was fun. And so I
Yeah.
know we're trying to teach our son that too for when he ever, meets the love of his life. It doesn't,
Totally.
you don't always have to spend all this money to play and have a great time. So, what might you give as advice to someone who maybe has forgotten what play looks like and how to tap into that idea of just playing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, I love to say that everyone just plays differently. And there's like a million different play archetypes or personalities or just different ways. Like somebody else could be doing something that's really playful. And to me, I could be doing that same thing and be like, wow, this is not fun to me. Or vice versa. People, I think, look at like me, or they're like, wow, like you're so quintessentially playful. You do like voices and you're like bouncing around the room and you sing and you dance and you're just a very goofy person. I'm like, yes. And that's very playful to me. But for somebody else, that might just be wildly not playful. And play is anything, it's basically flow. It's anything where time ceases to exist and your whole like brain and body is just fully immersed in it. That's how Stuart Brown, I love his, he does like all this research on the importance of play and the
Mm,
psychology of how it's so important. And it's just like, whoa, I love all that. Just to nerd out on it for a sec. But for somebody who hasn't connected to it, personally, I find when I feel disconnected from it, I'm also seeking connection. Like that I find it so much more easeful to be playful in connection with others. It just feels so much more rewarding and exciting, but that might not be the case for everyone. Some people are incredibly introverted and really can find themselves in a playful state just as much on their own. And I think I've also explored that and it's great to do too. But yeah, to really go back to what were you doing as a kid or at any point in your life where you're like, wow, time did not exist when I was doing that. Like it could have felt like, like time flew past or, like it just like didn't even happen and you were fully immersed in it and just in that and trying to find any kind of ways to recreate that. And it doesn't have to cost any kind of money at all. Whether it be, looking at different groups in your town or, maybe you loved creating things like my one friend, he's a tinkerer, like he loves to tinker around with stuff. I'm like, I'm not really a tinkerer of like I'd like to like build stuff. I'm like I like to move my body, I like to dance, I love to get interactive with other people, so I need to put myself in places where I have the opportunity to do that. And for people who maybe don't remember, I try like just trying different stuff sometimes is part of that, just like, yeah, maybe that wasn't my thing, and that's okay. Like knowing
mhm.
that, like something not feeling right is also part of it. Is I think just the experimentalness of it and being willing to kind of put yourself out there, Be like, I don't know, I
That's true.
don't know what's sparking joy. Sometimes I just need to start just try stuff.
Yeah, just try your own, try and find it. For me, like playing games is fun, but certain games, other games cause me stress. So I'm like, no thanks. But certain games I like. And then like for me, walking, going for walks, especially like you said, when you see a dog or a cat. And then if some folks I talk with, they love to just color because when they were kids, they loved coloring. So they go back to that. For me, running is good, drawing. Some people love puzzles because they did puzzles as a kid. And then, of course, going to see Christmas lights. I talk to so many adults who really tack back to their childhood when they go look at Christmas lights a few days before
There's something
Christmas.
about
So,
those twinkly little lights that's
yeah,
so
I
sweet.
mean, it's just remembering what the joy was when you were a kid, that innocence of just sitting there playing dolls with your friends or something, or playing. Well, our house backs up to the green belt, and so we sometimes see little kids out there running around playing soccer. And I remember those days as a kid, or they'll just hit a ball, and or throw a frisbee. And I love it because they're running around and they're playing in the fresh air, and there's no phones. Not one of them is on a phone. It's just old fashioned, from when I was a kid in the 70s, going outside and playing, and they're giggling and they're having fun. And then I hear their mom call them in to come in and they go run to have dinner. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's my childhood right there. And so it just brings me so much joy seeing others have fun like that and just good old fashioned playtime.
Ah, yeah, that's so sweet. I love that. And it also just joy is contagious. Like laughter, joy, all these things. It's like you see other people in that. And it's just like, wow, I feel that too now.
Exactly. Well, now you have a podcast. So what do you talk about on your podcast?
Yeah, my podcast is Joyfully You. It's all about helping reconnect people to their joyful self. So I'll interview different people, or sometimes it'll be just me doing a solo cast kind of thing. If I have like an
Hmm.
idea, that I'm like, "Oh God, I need to like riff on this kind of thing which I'm just so excited about. And some episodes are like funny and ridiculous, and I just talk to, people who are very goofball, but we tap into some different aspect or angle or pillar of joy and creating a joyful life and what that means and exploring and discovering it because there's so many it's like a never ending like angled ball kind of thing of there's so many different things that you can use to help develop that in a holistic kind of way.
Oh, that's wonderful. I was at a women's writers group last night and they were going around talking about the projects they're working on. And one woman stood up and she handed out postcards to all of us. And she said, I want you to send a postcard to a friend, or even if it's someone you just barely know, your job is to send them a postcard. And we were all just looking at them like, oh, old-fashioned postcards. Oh my goodness. And we didn't even know what the postage was. She had to tell us what the postage was because it's been so long that we've actually sent correspondence, right? And so all of us were just thrilled. I can't even begin to tell you, Amy, how excited we were to complete this task, to think of someone I already know who I'm going to send it to, and then to write a little note of encouragement to them, their address, and actually put it in the mail and just wait, with excitement. So things like that, folks can just come up with these ideas that just amaze me. Never in a million years would I have thought of that. Here are some
I love
postcards, send them. And she
that.
did. And we were all just afterwards hugging her and thanking her for that, memory and that little snippet of a way to spread joy, right?
So great. And it's so simple too. Like it's just she just needed to get a stack of postcards and have the idea and take the initiative to share them and then gives people the opportunity. I mean, you don't have to do it either, you know? It's like, but it's so sweet to just take that little moment out of your day to just write something nice. Like the other day I work in a co-working space because I work remotely and it's nice to, be in a room with a bunch of other people that are also working and you get to have interactions with people. And my one friend works there, and I was like, oh, I needed to write her like a logistical note of like this is a question I have, and she wasn't at her desk, so I just kind of like wrote it, and I was like, wait, I could also use this as an opportunity to take another minute out of my day to just write what I really appreciate about her because she's an incredible human. So you just like take that extra 60 seconds, and you can just make someone's day. Like sometimes I use that mentality when I'm having a hard day of how can I make someone's day? Like how can I just like spread a little joy, even though I'm like not feeling like my best self for whatever reason. Like maybe I'll be like really doubting myself, or I don't know, really frustrated, or having a human day. And it
Exactly. Just being a human. Yeah.
just being real human right now. It feels so sweet and so much better to really spread that. And just
That's a great idea to spread the joy around even when you're having a bad day, just taking that little effort to spread it around and to know that one little act you did made somebody so happy. And we see that all the time, especially now with social media. We have so many more chances to see it, to see things like that. So that's beautiful. Well, Amy, this has been so wonderful. Folks, head over to Amazon and get your copy of 101 Ways to Spread Joy today, which will spread joy. And let Amy know what you think of the book. Leave her a review and then head over to her podcast, Joyfully You with Amy Dickens. I can hardly wait to listen. And this has just been such a delight. I wish you all the best and look forward to maybe your next book coming down the road. What do you think?
oh yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I was like, oh man, I got the itch to start writing again. I'm like, I don't know what it's gonna be, but I'm kind of excited.
Yes,
Anything.
absolutely. Please do. Yeah, think of an idea and come up with your next book. Well, this has been wonderful. I know you're super busy, so I appreciate you taking time to chat with us about yourself and your amazing book, 101 Ways to Spread Joy. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Wasn't that fun to listen to Amy Dickens talk about 101 ways to spread joy? Ah, that is amazing. And she's just so joyful. What drew me to her on Podmatch was how she talked, on her podcast and her bio and everything. It just seems so up. And I love that energy. I need that energy, don't you? Sometimes the day just wears you down. So head over to Amazon and get your copy of 101 Ways to Spread Joy and leave her a review. Let her know what you think. And I hope that you've been encouraged to find, easy ways to feel more alive by playing and being playful. And think of some joy starters. How can you wake up in the morning and just start off on a joyful note? And think of acts of kindness that you can do, or those little experiments that bring joy to others, like the postcard idea I talked about. Give it a shot, see what you can do. But most importantly, I hope that you've been encouraged, and stick with it. Keep going forward on your writing journey and try and find the joy. And thanks for listening. Until next time, God bless.